Good morning, everybody. My name is John Dennis. I'm the mayor of the great city of West Lafayette, and with me today is Mr. Rick Walker, the chief, the head, the man in charge of our neighborhood resource team. And today we're going to be talking about some of the things that we do in our neighborhoods with yet another entertaining and informative edition of Fun with the Mayor. Okay, Rick, let's talk about neighborhood resource team. What do you do? What's your major goal?
Mayor, we're looking at quality of life issues in our neighborhoods here in one of the best cities in Indiana. Ultimately, we proactively go out and check for issues pertaining to weeds, grass height, things like that, that your office or our office would get typically nuisance calls or complaints about. We've been around for 5 years. There were a lot of neighborhood issues, again, related to quality of life that needed addressed, and this was a good fit. It's a program that was modeled in Michigan. We looked at that, looked at a couple other examples, and thought we need to try this here, and it's actually been quite successful with great response from our citizens.
Well, I know I get a lot of positive phone calls about what we're doing, and also I get a lot of positive suggestions about what we need to do. And how do you try and get compliance with our ordinances, codes, statutes, neighborhood issues? How do you deal with those? What's your mechanism of enforcement?
Well, our process is multi-layered. We start sometimes with a knock on the door and we talk to folks. And sometimes we'll leave a warning or a notice if that person's not home, and it looks like this, just a green notice that has a list of code violations. So we'll indicate which one that we would like addressed and which one's in violation of city code. When the folks get home, they find the notice, they give me a call and say, what's going on? I said, hey, your yard needs cut, or you have this issue. What can we as the city do to help? We want to help you fix that problem so it's not a problem for everybody else.
Okay, what's your number one complaint? What would that be?
It depends seasonally, but right now it's grass and weeds because that's where we are at the start of the summer, late spring. In the winter, obviously, it'll be snow, and oftentimes it's trash year-round. It seems like trash is always a common complaint.
Let's kind of create a hypothetical scenario here. I'm in my office. I get a phone call. Somebody says, our next door neighbor hasn't cut their grass yet this year. We haven't seen anybody around the house, and the grass is knee-high. What do you do?
We're going to send a guy out, one of our team members or myself will go out and assess that issue, and we will knock on that door and see if we can identify. We'll talk to some neighbors if that house looks like it's been vacant. Maybe it's a rental. Maybe, unfortunately, the folks who lived there prior had an issue with paying the mortgage, or it was a foreclosure or a bank or a short sale, which we have a lot. We're going to try to contact the company that's responsible to manage that, to have them take care of the property and to take care of that issue that they've called us about.
Now, again, I have had a ton of compliments about the ways that we've been able to make sure that the quality of life in our neighborhoods is still kept to the high standards that we're so proud of here in West Lafayette. But it's because of you guys being here in our neighborhoods that has empowered us to have that level of success. So,
all the folks on our team are sort of cross-trained to know how to step in and help another guy out in his position. So a lot of different services there in one little unit.
Okay, well, that's very good. And again, you guys do amazing work. So let's look up and down the street here. We're in a neighborhood. This is actually in the New Chauncey neighborhood. This is the oldest established neighborhood within the city limits of West Lafayette. It's an area where there's a lot of community pride. The folks that are in New Chauncey are very proud about their houses, and they've got beautiful, amazing housing stock here. But this is probably where we have the highest concentration of rental property, correct?
It is. Typically 60% of our nuisance complaints, 60 to 65%, come from this area of town. And that's just because of the denseness of all the density of all the rental units here. You're exactly correct.
So again, in dealing with the neighborhood association and dealing with the citizens and dealing with the students that generally live here, do you find that there's a general sense of cooperation? Is there a relatively cooperative spirit here? Or is it just almost like sometimes when the students come back, it's an occupying force that the residents in this and many neighborhoods within the city of West Lafayette, as we're a college town, sort of start gearing up and you guys start getting more and more complaints?
Well, two schools of that thought. There are those who live here and have lived here for some time who view this as a sort of an invasion every fall. But there are those folks who have lived here for some time, and they understand, hey, we're in a college town, we're going to be good neighbors. But ultimately what it amounts to is our team has to teach these new faces every year what's going on and what's the right thing to do and how to be good neighbors with the folks who live here year-round.
And right now we have one of our citizens who's very interested in what we're doing.
Yeah.
How you doing, sir?
Hi.
Hi, I'm John Dennis. I'm your mayor. Nice to meet you. We have a little bit of a surprise today on this component of Fun with the Mayor. We actually have a citizen that lives in the New Chauncey area. He's actually a student. and he came by as we were filming this segment. So we just thought, why don't we ask him a few questions? So why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself, sir?
I'm Nick McKenna. I go to Purdue. I'm studying nuclear engineering. I'm currently a super senior. I'm from Oak Park, Illinois. It's right next to Chicago.
And you live here in the neighborhood, I presume?
Yes, I live in that house over there.
Okay. You've lived here for how many years?
2 weeks.
Oh, okay. So you're brand new into the neighborhood?
Yes.
Okay. This is Rick Walker. He's the head of our neighborhood resource team. I'm John Dennis. I'm the mayor of the city of West Lafayette. And we welcome you to our community.
Thank you.
And obviously, in the event that you ever need anything that we could assist you with, Rick is a great guy to get in touch with to give you. We're back with our supervisor of our neighborhood resource team, Rick Walker. And the presumption is that our neighborhood resource team, by designation, by title, works exclusively in neighborhoods, but you guys do much more than that. Is that correct?
We do. We're all over the city. We're kind of the jack of all trades. We also, our mandate is, by you, ironically, is also to establish relationships in our neighborhoods and business communities. Oftentimes what we do, since we have a strong presence with parking enforcement in the village, is also walk the village and communicate, and our people do walk the village on a regular basis and look at things to assess, graffiti issues or what have you. We'll engage with local business owners and just try to say, hey, how are things going? Is there something we can do? Or, hey, you've got an issue here, what can we do to help? Because this obviously is a highly visited area. So where people go, there are issues, and this is where people come to eat and get their hair cut and do lots of business for within the city.
Was that directed towards me?
No.
Okay, I
No,
just want to
not
make
there.
sure. Okay. I was
You
feeling
don't come here to get your hair cut. do you?
No, I don't do that apparently often enough. But anyway, off topic. But anyway, the fact of the matter is that part of your mission isn't just focusing on issues of quality of life within the neighborhoods. It encompasses the entire city of West Lafayette. And as this is becoming more of a downtown, more of an urban area, your job is obviously going to get even more complicated. And I think it's imperative that people understand that you do build relationships, not just with our citizens, but also with our business owners as well. Is that correct?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, that's key because it's an alliance, and we need them as much as they probably don't need us, but we certainly need those relationships, and the city needs those because it's a partnership, and we're all in it together, so to speak.
This program would not be complete if I didn't ask you the obvious question. What is the weirdest thing that you have seen in your years here with the city of West Lafayette as the team supervisor of our neighborhood resource unit?
Mayor, there have been several. I can remember a situation in which basically the guys of a house up north of us here actually moved an apartment out onto a rooftop. I mean, imagine this: you're trucking by and you're seeing, there's a lamp on an end table and there's a couch, and of course there's the cooler of beer. We are a college town after all, and it's just ironic. Of course, at that time no one was there. I would suspect they were all inside, maybe cleaning up the house inside.
Absolutely.
Since they had the furniture outside. But quite an interesting thing. They had just relocated to the roof. I found that rather humorous.
Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Rick Walker, the team leader of our neighborhood resource team, providing services for you, with you, to you, and because of you. This is John Dennis signing off on yet another informative experience of fun with the mayor.